welcome back to Foodinati UK. And this week we have singer-songwriter Carol Hodge, who was last seen with Steve Ignorant's Crass and Ginger Wildheart, many, many more. She's also got a new album, Vertiginous Drops, which is out now. Hello and welcome back to Foodinati UK. And this week, Carol Hodge is in the house.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on the show, Carol.
Thank you.
Been following your progress with the new albums coming.
Yeah.
I want to thank you personally for my word of the day today, which was vertiginous.
Vertiginous, yes.
Which, if you don't know at home, means it's where vertigo comes from. It's being high and feeling uneasy. Am I right?
That kind of sums up a lot of my life, yes.
There we go. So how's the album going? Oh, well, it's done now, isn't it? It's done.
I've actually, I've got the vinyl and CDs for sale down the road at the gig I'm doing.
Also, it's that coloured vinyl. It looked very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's like the Eco Mix one,
yes,
which I was explaining to Ginger earlier on today because he didn't know what it was. It's like whatever colour they've got left over at the pressing plant.
Oh, right.
And they just mush it all together. So I've got a really nice kind of like a dusky turquoise.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous, yeah.
And then splatter. So you got to have a splatter.
You got to have a splatter.
Green and blue splatter.
Absolutely, brilliant. So when's that coming out digital as well?
10th of March.
10th of March.
The plan. Yes. Yeah.
So you can order the vinyl off your website now?
Yeah, and in stock and everything.
Awesome.
I keep mentioning that because it's such a novelty, because with my last album I had to wait for 10 months for it to arrive. So it's actually arrived early, which I didn't think was possible. So I'm very, very excited about having it in my possession already.
Is Dave Draper on the controls again?
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
So it's our 4th studio album together.
Wow.
And it sounds huge, obviously, because they produced it.
Well, the production on the last record was fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. It had a lot of drama in it, which was great. We love drama.
Yeah.
Well, not on the job, but we love drama in music. I always make this joke that we're always 2 steps away from Wildheart. Whatever we do, because we've had Ben Marsden on the show, and who's going to be touring with you this year.
Yeah.
Supporting Ginger Wildheart on quite a lot of dates, quite spread out throughout the year, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've just seen Ben living it up down in Mexico.
Oh, he's on the cruise, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, I'm so jealous.
He's with the Warner Hodges.
Yeah.
We had him on the show, and I almost killed him with some Scotch bonnet fudge, which
okay.
I won't be doing today.
Good.
Right.
Okay, so don't really want to try the hottest thing in the world before I have to go and sing.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So Dave Draper on the controls again. And is there any other guests you got on the album?
Yes. So Ginger sings on a song, Ginger Wildheart. So he's guest vocals, and Chris Catalyst.
Yes, brilliant. Robo Christ or Eureka Machines.
Which is Ghost as well, plays guitar.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, it's official now.
It's official.
So he plays guitar, synth and bass on the track.
Wow.
Which is epic.
Well, he's a total multi-instrumentalist genius, isn't he?
Yeah, I just sent him a track and I was like, just do whatever. And he, 8 tracks came back. I was like, okay, great. And who else? Carvers Tarabi from Gong and the Cardiacs.
Oh, wow.
He's playing guitar on a track.
Wow.
So he's made it sound like a Bond theme, which I was happy with.
I once played a gig the day after Cardiacs had played at Leeds Duchess back in the day.
I remember the Duchess,
and they utterly trashed the place.
Oh, wow.
Well, on stage. That's
something they would have done, but
no, they're special effects.
Right, okay, right.
They had some sort of glitter cannon or something like that going on. But I know a lot of die-hard Cardiacs fans, so absolutely awesome.
And then the final guest is Kirsty McGee, plays musical saw.
Oh, wow.
And bass flute on a track as well. So
it's very eclectic musical bunch you've got there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So people might know your name from your work with Steve Ignorant of Crass.
Yeah.
You did the last tour of the Crass material, didn't you? Yes, on backing vocals, keys, is that right?
Well, I sing lead vocals on some of the songs as well.
Oh, right.
Because Crass did an album called Penis Envy, which was where they basically said, Steve, you're not in the band for this album, we're going to let Joy and Eve do the singing.
That's one of Lisa's favourites, that one.
Yeah, it's the best album.
We played that around our house.
Yeah, best one. So I sing quite a few tracks off that, take lead vocals, and then just play really, because obviously Crass didn't have a synth player.
No.
But we also only have one guitarist. So my role is kind of like rhythm guitar in a lot of ways, very noisy, filling the sound out, doubling up on some of the lead lines, doing some of the riffs that, you know, there's two guitarists at one time, I'll do one and pick the guitarist to do the other. So it's worked really well so far, and we've got more dates this year, so it's a lot of fun, that.
I've just noticed out the corner of my eye, like we're always giving people presents on this show.
As if by magic.
Spread the word. If you do Foodinati, you get fed and you get prezzies. So, here we are. This is going to be available on our Etsy store soon. And this one is for you.
Thank you.
Your very own Foodinati jumper. Keep yourself warm on the tour.
That's good. That's great. Most of the colours I own are black. So
right.
It's really nice to have a bit of variety.
There you go. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
So you've also worked with Ginger Wildheart, as you said. You've sung on his records as well, haven't you?
Yeah. So, go on, sorry.
Oh, sorry, and Brian Hamilton as well, who you share with Ben Marsden. Yeah.
It's all a big tangled, sort of nepotistic web, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I've been playing with Ryan for about 6 years now.
Cool.
And sang on Ginger's album. So me and Ginger were going to swap a song because he was featuring on one of my songs, and he was like, "Oh well, can you come and do backing vocals on one of mine?" I was like, "Yeah." So I got to the studio because he works with Dave Drape as well, and he goes, "Oh, there's 9 tracks. Is that all right?"
Oh wow!
And I was like, "Yeah." So it's just like bang, 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 bang. Just learn that bit, like listen to it a few times, sing it, you know. So that's great. Yeah.
That's going out as Carol Hodge and Ryan Hamilton, isn't it? You've got a joint album.
Oh, and that's something totally different.
Is that another thing?
So that's the Ginger album I was on about.
Oh, the Ginger story.
But yes, so Ryan and I have just we did a Kickstarter last year. The aim of the Kickstarter was to raise some money to get me to pay for my flight over to America to do a tour with him, to do an acoustic tour. So we did that, and we raised enough money to actually record an album.
Wow!
So we just wrote this album in a cabin in the Poconos Mountains
on
the days off, and then demoed it while we were in America, and then over the last sort of few months we've been recording it, remotely, sending it to Dave, and so it's finished now.
Brilliant.
So it's out for the Kickstarter people at the moment. We might do something else with it, but we're not quite decided. So yeah.
Cool. Right, so you're on stage tonight, and you've got your band with you tonight.
The Carol Hodge band.
The Carol Hodge band.
The most inventive name you could possibly imagine.
That's all right. And who's in the band?
So Tom Swales is on drums, Piper Dawes on guitar, and Matt Crochet on bass.
There we go. And
me.
And you, of course. So I'm really looking forward to this next record. It's, does it follow on from the last record in feel, or is this a new step out into new pastures?
Yeah, it's my 4th album, and I think certainly over the last couple, I've sort of developed a bit of a ballpark as to where I am sonically. Taking a few more risks on this album, but generally speaking, there's a few kind of very much piano-led, quite sparse tracks. There's a few kind of slightly synthy 80s electro-y tracks.
I did notice an 80s influence coming through on the last one. No, very welcome, because I love all that.
Bit dark, but it's very poppy.
I do love all that, and there's a lot of that sound coming through these days.
Yeah, it's come back round again, hasn't it? It's all good for us.
Absolutely.
And then the other sort of slice of the pie is just like big anthemic, sort of dramatic Queen-style rock.
We love a bit of that. We love a bit of that.
Variety, yeah.
So that wraps us up for the music part of this. Right. We're going to be getting some nosh, and now you're going to hear some messages from some guy who's going to tell you to subscribe and all that. So we'll see you on the flip side. And if you like what you see there, don't forget, hit subscribe, hit like, hit the bell. You know what to do, and we can carry on doing what we do. And you're back with us at Foodinati, and by the magic of television, look at that food here. So, you're vegetarian or vegan?
Vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
Are you much for cooking and stuff?
Oh, I love cooking.
Yeah?
I'm very much into cooking, yes.
So what's your go-to sort of thing?
I made a soup this morning.
Oh, lovely.
Just using up veg. I like making a curry from scratch.
Oh, rad, yeah.
So dry frying the spices.
Yeah, brilliant.
Frying up onion, chilli, garlic,
That's a real skill actually, because it's like getting the balance right.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But the key is just cook it for ages. You know, add like a tin of tomatoes, add water, whiz it all up, create your sauce, and then just stick it on a really high heat for like an hour.
Yeah.
And it just, you know,
it
comes out. And then obviously with curry sauce, the longer you leave it overnight or the next day or the next day, it gets, you know, macerates. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Found that when we were, segues nicely, when we were making this. Out now at our Etsy shop, get on down there. Yeah, you've heard all the people nattering about it, you can buy it now. Anyway, shameless plug over. When we made this, the first batch when it came out, it was really nice and all that, but then we found that the longer we left it got nicer and nicer and nicer and nicer. And so now it's all nicely settled, it's fantastic, and the herbs are really, the spices are really kicking off. So, but as with all things, when you're dealing with stuff that's spicy, it is a balancing act.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to try and keep, you see, this is a medium heat. Yeah. And to keep it, we wanted a mass appeal sauce to go in with first, something that would work as a table sauce. Yeah. My mum can have it, you know, so that was the rule. If my mum can have it, then we're all right.
See, the problem is with the word medium, it's very subjective, isn't it?
It is.
So what you consider medium, I might consider the hottest thing in the world.
Absolutely. So, yeah. We haven't had anybody say, "Oh, that's too hot." I mean, my mum said, "Oh, it's a playful heat." So, and anything that's not mayonnaise is hot to my mum. So. No,
I'm very much a fan of that. I like heat, but I like flavoursome heat. I don't like it when all you can do is just like, you know, sweat and like it's a real what's the word? Just basically a slog to eat it. I like to enjoy it. So I like quite like a smoky heat, like a habanero.
Yeah, lovely.
Thing. But yeah, as long as there's something else going on. Yeah. Like say sweetness, like a pecan.
Absolutely.
Like that's good. Well,
I mean, that's been the kind of motto for us: is flavour before heat. Yeah. Always flavour first. So, on your travels around, have you like ever found any like little spots that you keep going back to in certain towns? Any restaurants or places we should know about?
Do you know what I love? I love Govinda's in Soho in London. It's like a Hare Krishna restaurant.
Oh wow!
And whenever I play in London, I always try and get there. They do like an amazing like paneer curry.
Oh, lovely!
And with it being like Hare Krishna, they don't use garlic.
Right.
And I think they avoid onions as well.
Right.
So you get like lots of asafoetida instead.
Right.
But it's just a slightly different sort of texture and palate to like a sort of standard curry.
Because I often see the Hare Krishnas going up and down Oxford Street. So is that they're part of the same thing? Is it part of the temple?
I mean, it's like it's a Hare Krishna centre.
Yeah.
So they run the restaurant as well. But yeah, really good food.
Must check that out.
Yeah.
I'm all for trying new things.
Yeah. That's the one that springs to mind. I'm always a fan of, I quite like vegan junk food. Yeah. So, wherever I can find like a dirty burger, I'll usually just go for that as a junk
absolutely. Food, I have to say, Cold Wing do dirty burgers as well. We're just not having them today. Plug. So are there any, like you say, you collaborated a lot on this record. Are there any on your wish list, white whale people that you would like to collaborate with in the future?
There are a lot, but I'm kind of, I've got an idea of something I want to do over the next couple of years, and it involves a lot of collaboration. Right. So I don't want to say anything about it too much because it's very half-baked. But it basically involves me writing a lot of songs and having a lot of people collaborate with me on those songs. At some point.
Do you find yourself that you are very prolific with writing?
I have I'm quite disciplined with my songwriting most of the time. I do go through phases, but it's like anything. It's like if you turn up and you do it every day, you're gonna get something. You're gonna get better at it, and you're gonna at least, get through. I often feel that you sometimes have to work through the very mediocre ideas to get to the good ones. And
you might do something that you thought was rubbish and come back to it later and it's fab.
Yeah, or there's like a section of it. It might even just be like a riff or half a chorus or something that can lead on to something else.
Absolutely. I'm a producer myself and I do electronic music. But I'm also in a heavy metal band. I'm also doing an industrial thing as well. But I keep everything. Like even the ones I've lost my temper with, I just file them away somewhere. Because there will be 9 times out of 10 something in there that'll come back to you later on and go, actually that part was good and that will work with this other thing that I'm working on, you know.
And that's always my, I realised like relatively recently the way I work as a writer is I'll do it in short bursts.
Yeah.
So, and as soon as I hit the wall, I just think, just leave it and walk away. So in generally writing a song, I might come back to it 10 times before it's finished and demoed, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the way I've ended up working, but it seems to fit for my brain anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the biggest tunes that my lot 601 have done have been written in like a couple of hours.
Yeah.
But then there are tracks that took 6 months, you know, and that have done pretty well. But it's always those bursts of like lightning tracks that.
And sometimes that happens. You're just like, wow, it just
don't
comes
overthink
out in
it. Just boom, boom, boom.
Like a very quick labour. It just bursts out and it's there and it's all fully formed.
They don't come around often, but when they do, they're beautiful moments. Absolutely beautiful. Right, well, we're going to let you crack on with your... Yes, absolutely. But first off, while we've got you on camera, let's see what you think of this. So you do your own dab.
Okay.
See what you think.
Let's do a chip.
Chip would be a good idea.
An unadulterated chip. There must be one in here somewhere. That's got a bit.
There we go. You're going to do a dunk,
I do at the end of it.
There we go.
Just a tip.
I'll see how you feel about that.
Ooh, can I get a bit more? Ooh, yeah, hang on.
That's the response we want.
Try. It's it looks like brown sauce, but
yes,
it's not.
It's jerk. Ostensibly it's a jerk, but we've ramped up the fruit. So there's pink grapefruit and pineapple in there, wrapped up with some molasses.
That's what it's a molasses. It's kind of there's a little hit of like a pineapple fritter in there. I was trying to put my finger on it, but it's pineapple.
Pineapple, yes. Yeah. We put pineapple and grapefruit in there as a nod to our fair departed Lilt. Seriously?
What, has Lilt been discontinued? Don't drop.
Oh no, I've dropped the bomb on camera. Yes, I'm afraid.
Really?
They've stopped making Lilt.
God.
They're going to rebadge it as Fanta now, and that's Lilt gone. Sorry. And on that bombshell.
Was not expecting that to happen tonight. What a world!
Bringer of bad tidings.
Thanks, Leeds.
Right, we will see you next time with some more wonderful musical people. Thank you for being on the show, Carol.
Thank you for having me and for the food.
So it's not all rock stars and chicken wings. Sometimes we've got to go on errands here at Foodinati UK, and we're going on an errand for Frank from the Chilli Shop. We've got a very special mission. So keep watching and you'll see how the day unfolds. Next up, we went up north to see our favourite hot sauce company, Bailfire, and give them a very special award. Hello and welcome back to Foodinati. And as I told you, we're here on an errand for Frank from Chilli Shop. He's got us working, paying us in hot sauce. Anyway, we've come here to meet up with Peter and
James
from Bailfire. Sorry, I've only just got here. To discuss, amongst other things, their wonderful sauces, which they make completely from scratch. And we're talking vinegar as well. We're talking the whole thing, but we'll get into that. First of all, one of my errands is, as you might know, if you've been following our Instagram, we were judging the Best Newcomer Award at the Chilli Shop Awards in association with That Leeds mag. And I brought something with me today to present to the guys. Here is your Newcomer of the Year Award.
Oh, amazing, thank you so much. That's going on. That's going on the wall. Absolutely amazing, thank you so much. And thank you.
Got a speech.
I want to thank my mum, I want to thank James, thank the wife. She bottles it all, she does all the hard work. Cheers, Frank.
Yeah, so how long have you been running Bailfire, you guys?
Yes, so we started August a year and a half ago. It's been really interesting doing what we've been doing. We started off with about 6 sauces. We've moved up to like 12 solid sauces at a time, and we're always trying to innovate, make new, interesting recipes.
Absolutely. Well, the thing that swung it for us with this award in particular was the innovative nature of your sauces, where it manages. It's so classy compared to the other hot sauces on the market. You know, it's not like ours, which has got skulls on and people's faces melting and stuff.
Everyone enjoys a good skull.
We want to try and do something a bit different, and we're based up in the northeast. We want to go down that kind of Anglo-Saxon theme.
Absolutely.
And Bailfire, it's an old Anglo-Saxon word for bonfire. So
perfect.
Hence the name.
It definitely makes you stand out when you see your stuff in shops and stuff next to, as we've said, a lot of skulls. And then you see this, and it's like, now that looks classy. That looks like something I could actually present to my mother.
We had a rule, loads of fabulous chili sauce producers out there, and not there's anything wrong with it, but this thing you see again and again, it's a chili with eyeballs on. Every time I see it, it's another one. But it's something a bit different.
It is.
And like I say, nothing wrong with those others, but we try and do something a bit different.
It kind of came back to like the background where we both came from, because we've both done media in some sort of form. I did 3D digital design. He did a media course in Carlisle. So we've kind of got like this design background. So the first thing we did before we really made any sauces was like kind of come up with like all the branding that we wanted to have behind it.
Absolutely.
We went through so many names and so many iterations, so many logos.
So one of the things that caught me was the fact that the flavours are really innovative, and especially there was the where the wild roses grow. That was my first one, and I'm not a big fan of rose type flavours, but then I had that, and I was like, that totally makes sense. That it totally sits well, and that's the one thing that I've noticed across your range is balance is there. It's just everything's so well balanced.
So this is the idea behind vinegar and making the vinegar. Vinegar is a wonderful product, a wonderful ingredient that a lot of people don't use right, and vinegar is used as chefs to balance flavors. If you've got something that's too sweet, you can lower that with the right amount of vinegar. Something's too fatty, vinegar helps cut through, that acid helps cut through. So that combination of acidity balanced well with sweetness, balanced well with the chili, it just works, and that comes from years of working in kitchens for 15 years.
And it shines through. You can really tell, and it's like I had the same conversation with Dean Sharp about making sauces and stuff. It's a balancing act. You know, one has to it's going to be in harmony. It's like writing a song. You know, everything's got to have its place, and everything's got to sing and sound. Nothing's louder than anything else. You know?
And it's practice as well. We don't just knock up a sauce. It's do lots of iterations of it, lots of test batches before we're happy with something, and find out when it works. It works.
You go for maximum potential of every ingredient.
That's the idea. That's the idea.
Well, yeah, you can certainly taste it, which drags me on to my favourite bit of all of this. Should we taste them?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, we've done a hot ones style.
Yes.
Flavour.
So we're doing
mild to our hottest.
Wonderful.
Which is our Carolina and Reaper hot sauce. Bonnie Mango is one of our mildest ones.
Right, so, as you said, we're starting at the mild end of the scale. So, let's talk through this one, Alan.
So, Bonnie Mango, it's our sweet mango-based hot sauce. We didn't want to create just hot things. So, this one, we took mango chutney, which is a fantastic ingredient, analysed exactly what goes into that, created a hot sauce around the ideas of mango chutney, and it really comes through. So, we've got fenugreek, fresh lime in there, lime zest, We balance the sweetness of the mango out with vinegar. Yeah, it works.
That's Scotch bonnet in that one.
Yeah, just about 2% Scotch bonnet. So
one of my favourite chilies.
Yeah.
So these are all pre-sauced, are they?
So bake the hot sauce in there.
Wow, look at that for preparation. They're pre-sauced. Right. Okay.
Cheers.
That's beautiful.
So a very British hot ones. You've got Cumberland sausage.
Well, it's a good all-rounder because you've got a little tang there that tells you that the chili's there, but it's mostly based around the fruit flavours and you get that chutney kind of vibe from it. Beautiful.
Exactly.
Lovely.
So moving on.
Yes.
We've got wild roses. That's our sweet chili sauce with rose water in.
Yes.
So very traditional style sweet chili. Got the garlic, a bit of lime in there as well, and zest. Yeah. Loads of vinegar, loads of sugar.
And herbs.
So go ahead, see what you think.
I love it. This one's, yeah, it's a really classy flavour, this one. I really like it. And the herbs are there. I find habanero goes so well with sweet stuff. It's like, habanero and orange is a combination I really like.
It's a really fruity chili as well, and balances really well as a sweet chili or a jam.
Yeah, people forget you can use chilies with sweet stuff as well. Right, coming on to barbecue season, I can see this one might be.
So Chantico,
smoky number.
Yeah. So I love smoke. I love barbecue. I love that smoky flavour. So we've got as much in there as possible. We use, yeah,
that's really smoky. That's lovely.
We brew our own beer for this one. It's a smoked beer, a German style Rauch beer, which we've got 70 litres brewing in there. So yeah, that comes through. That with the oak smoked paprika and the chipotle. It's got a great supply for the chipotle. It's a pecan smoked. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
So we're talking of our friends habanero, our soul fire.
Yeah, that's our original signature hot sauce. Absolutely beautiful. Sweetened with pineapple. We use our own craft beer in there.
You can definitely see that's got some red angriness going on there.
Yeah, that's it's got loads of roasted red pepper. That's kind of adds the colour of it. Again, our own homemade beer, our own homemade vinegar.
You can tell we're getting on.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I describe this as. It's an everyday one for people who are used to hot sauce.
Yeah.
But if you've been on mediums and you just want to chuck it up a notch, this is the one.
So it's my favourite sauce by far. It's got everything. This is when I started making hot sauce. I want to make something for me, and yeah, it's got that balance of sweetness, savoury. The fermentation, we use loads and loads of our fermented habanero in there, so that really comes through. And yeah, it's perfect level of heat. I can drench my food in it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Right, now we're going on to the Caribbean.
Tortuga.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Tortuga, we started making this one around summertime last year, and we retired it temporarily because, well, getting certain chilies can be a bit of a, depending on the time of the year. And yellow habaneros we just could not source for ages. We've only recently been able to get them again. Kind of came back in season, so now it's we can get it back off the block, and we've changed the recipe slightly, but it's been going down really well.
There's some naga in there, isn't there?
We've used coconut sugar in this one, and fermented yellow naga chilies.
And that's a slight kick up from the last one.
Yeah.
We're getting into end zone here.
We're not looking to kill people. They're hot sauces, but
that's flavour first.
Even the super hot one, you'll get try get that bit of hint of smoke from the oak smoked paprika. You get the malty sweetness from the beer that we use, and the chili, the Carolina Reaper.
Yeah.
It's.
I can see by looking at the ingredients there's no extracts or funny business going on here. This is all natural.
No, not that there's anything wrong with using extracts. I agree, they have their place, and I've played with them before. But for our sauces,
100% natural. Beautiful. Right, there we go.
Oh, geez.
This is the banger. He's just said, "Oh Jesus," and he makes it. Right.
My general go-to is Tortuga. Is like I'll use that an everyday. Arcturus, as a general rule, is too hot for me. But obviously, when we make it, we always have to test all the batches.
Of course you do.
Make sure they're still tasting right. And yeah, it's a step up.
I'm waiting for that reaper. Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
You always feel the reaper at the back of your throat first, don't you? For a reaper sauce, it's very civilised. I mean, it's hot, but it's not, like you say, flavour first. It's a very tasty sauce.
I think it's this one's a bit deceiving because you give it 5 seconds and then the reaper starts to kick in and you get that peppery heat back in your throat. And even for reaper sauce, 20% Carolina Reaper in there. We blend it with a bit of habanero as well. But yeah, it's got that kick. You know, we've got sauces out there, 7% Reaper. And they're a bit too hot for me.
Do you do the headbanger ones, like the ridiculous ones?
I love them.
Super hearts.
Yeah, but I think they have their place, but not as an everyday sauce.
Well, on that bombshell, it just remains to say thank you to Bailfire.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, and congratulations on the award. And we're going to take a delivery back to Frank now. Please join us next week when our guest will be My Dying Bride and Infernal Sea. Keep it locked.